Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. And you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
So I strongly suggest that you wake the fuck up.
I'm in charge.
You feel in charge?
Now you wanna get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
And I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake.
One more for the good guys.
All right, and welcome to the show.
Hold up.
I'm joined by the two Scots as usual. So we got a pretty stacked show for you today. I hope everybody enjoyed the President Trump cold open. It's what it's going to be like in 4th of July this year when we're trying to open the country back up fully in some of these Democratic states that they're trying to hold on power, you know.
Fun.
So we're going to get into the Obamacate. We also got the latest on the COVID. And then in sports, we'll talk about why our fight cast from last week got pulled by the UFC. But we'll give our thoughts on the fights. And we got a couple other things. They're talking about the Last Dance is coming to a finale, and we're going to discuss who's the better GOAT in the playoffs, LeBron or MJ.
Did you see that video?
Which one?
Video where I don't know if it was just an edited clip of Michael Jordan watching a video on the laptop and laughing about it, but they were showing a video of LeBron sitting in a circle with a couple guys talking about a certain play. And he's like, that's what defined me as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And then they show Jordan watching the laptop, and he starts laughing.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For
That's
so
what
many
I felt.
reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. That one right there made you the greatest player of all time. Everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. Like, they was the greatest team ever assembled. And for us to come back, the way we came back in that fashion, I was like, you did something special.
No, they superimposed that. It was in the show they showed Gary Payton talking about how he could actually guard MJ. And he tore Gary Payton up. And Gary Payton was the best defender in the league at that time, and he just destroyed Gary Payton every game in the finals. Remember that, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then they took.
So that's funny though. I haven't seen that because I'd love to see that. That's a good.
I'll try to pull it up.
That's good. That's good meme work. But first things first, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the United States.
Something together. But we have the mightiest, and they'll be helping us with this, by the way, speaking of truckers. We have the mightiest military in the long history of humankind. We have the best and most devoted workers ever to walk the face of the earth. And now we're combining all of these amazing strengths for the most aggressive vaccine project in history. There's never been a vaccine project anywhere in history like this. And I just want to make something clear. It's very important. Vaccine or no vaccine, we're back. And we're starting the process. And in many cases, they don't have vaccines. And a virus or a flu comes, and you fight through it. We haven't seen anything like this in 100 and some odd years, 1917. But you fight through it. And people sometimes, I guess, we don't know exactly yet, but it looks like they become immune, or at least for a short while and maybe for life. But you fight through it. But what we'd like to do, if we can, is the vaccine. I think we're going to be successful in doing it, and hopefully by the end of the year. Just as
we are fucking back. All right? And it's crazy because if you look at the stats, 75% of the deaths are in these Democratic states that are trying to hold everything down. So you got 75% of the deaths from this, you know, the fake numbers that they've been pumping out, the 80. Which, by the way, did you guys see that Colorado today posted a thing saying that 25% of the deaths that they reported in their state they had COVID marked on them, but they were actually from other causes. They actually came out. So, like, the death toll's actually gone down. I think it went down like 3,000 because 3,000 deaths just in Colorado were fudged. Yeah. So think about what that would be if you just did it over all the states. Say, just take 25% off of the number. What are we talking about now? A little, like, what, 58,000, 60,000 maybe? Yeah. Okay. So 60,000 deaths. The flu. It's still a bad flu season. You know, it's crazy. And then you got, so all these Republican governors are getting treated like shit because they're going back to opening it up. Like down here, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. DeSantis is ready to open up. They tried to say that it was going to be worse in Florida than anywhere else, and it was going to be this hotbed, and it never happened. Like, I think Florida's like number 10. There's so many other states ahead of this, and it's crazy.
They said Georgia and Florida, since they've opened up 25%, have still seen a decrease in cases.
No, it peaked 3 weeks ago.
Even after they've opened up 25% and they're still testing, they said they still see a decrease, and it's still decreasing. Yeah, whatever.
It's really frustrating when you think you're gonna have a good season and you end up number 10.
That is true.
That's true. That's true. So, getting back to it, given all the Republicans' bad time, and then, you know, the media, of course, is just sensationalizing everything. So let's go to my favorite Fox News person in the middle of the day, Ted Mosby, to tell us about what's going on with the Republican governors.
So, Jesse, let's come to the media angle on this story. You saw that Politico critical of the American media for having previously been so critical of Florida's Ron DeSantis, the governor, when he was leaving the beaches open and the like. And the reality is now we don't see any large-scale outbreaks in Florida. On the other hand, very high praise for lots of Republican governors. I'm thinking of DeWine of Ohio, Hogan in Maryland, Baker in Massachusetts. So is it fair to say the media has been unfair to Republican governors?
Yeah, like what does DeSantis need to do? Put some infected people in nursing homes to get a puff piece written about him? I mean, Cuomo's God, and this guy botched it, and people are dead in nursing homes, and it's getting worse. They did this all over the Northeast. Like, Pennsylvania did the same thing, and now there's a huge scandal because the Pennsylvania health director withdrew her own mother from a nursing home while she forced other sick people to go into the nursing homes, and now thousands of people have been killed. And if the media had reported these things early on, every other governor in the country could have looked at that and said, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be doing that. But they cover it up, and they focus on red states like Georgia.
again, we just talked about it. We're seeing a decrease in the Republican-run states that have decided to open up. Texas, Georgia, Florida, all decreasing, all because the virus itself peaked 3 weeks ago. The peak was 3 weeks ago. The whole point of this was they keep moving the goalposts, so to say. It's gone from, okay, we need to flatten the curve, which I get that, because if you would have overrun these hospitals like they were saying was going to happen, it would have been disastrous. It would have looked like one of those, like, you remember the movie with Tommy Lee Jones, Volcano? Remember where the volcano erupts in LA and it's just a fucking nightmare, and like everybody's in the hospital, like the hospitals are having to set up these staged hospitals like what they did in New York, like camps and stuff. Yeah. That's what it would have been like if we didn't flatten the curve, according to these people. So now we flatten the curve. Nurses are getting laid off. Hospitals are going bankrupt because they can't do the things that actually bring in the money, the elective surgeries, the treatments for cancer, and all the things. Hospitals are still a business.
Yeah, whether the things they normally rip us off.
Yeah, whether or not it's a ripoff or not, they still are an operating business, and even though they overcharge for a lot of things, and it's just insane what healthcare costs, that's how you pay all the nurses and stuff.
How are you supposed to make ends meet if you can't charge $81 for a can of shaving cream?
You can't.
No, it's just not going to happen. So it's just it's crazy. And then the only thing that we're getting out of Congress, just like how they want their states shut down, people from Congress don't want to come. They're trying to do proxy voting. Pelosi's trying to get it to where 22 people could essentially vote and pass a bill in the House.
No, she's trying to get it where one person.
Yeah.
Herself.
I am the House. So let's go to fucking crazy drunk Aunt Nancy. And let's see what she has to say about Trump, China, all these things that she wants to pass, and helping the American people.
Let me just say that what the president is saying about China is interesting. It's an interesting diversion. Right now, our focus should be on meeting the needs of the American people. I've even said putting aside how we got here in our own country, because we should be using our energy on how we go forward than making judgments about what his administration did or didn't do. We're talking about going forward. There'll be plenty of time for after-action review. And apart from what we do, there'll be scientists and others who will be tracing.
Wouldn't you like to see somebody paint like irises in between her eyelid hangover and her eyebrows?
Of such
Look,
a pandemic,
she knows the shit she's saying is bullshit, so she's using her hand gestures to try to convince you, as she's speaking to you, that what she's saying.
The American people.
Yeah.
Opening our economy.
So just like every other Italian woman?
It's so
is she Italian?
Clear. The health experts and the scientists. We want to get rid of the virus. That's how we can go out.
What I will say about her is
that's when we go to work and not be fearful that we're going to come home and bring something dangerous to our children. And so instead of diverting attention
she can't even open. She's got so much Botox. She can't even open
that may have been made
mouth.
here.
Well, her mouth's crooked.
Put that all aside and go forward for what we can do, working together for the good of the American people.
Somebody put a whippet to her ass.
Look at those lips, the way that ends.
I have to.
Oh God.
She's demonic.
Oh.
Shut up, bitch!
All right. Nancy. The HEROES Act. Let's get down to what this bill has, because they're only going to tell you the parts that you want to hear. So let's get to the parts that everybody wants to hear. Okay. We've got $200 billion for essential worker hazard pay. Newsflash. You already can do that with the one that we passed before. Okay, so there's no problems there. And trust me, the way you fucking idiots wrote the PPP bill and how you have to spend the money to get the money to actually pay bills for the business, I know because I've seen it. Trust me, there's plenty of money to give for hazard pay, all right, and to pay your employees.
I have a question about the hazard pay. Like, is it essential? Does that mean now that we're at opened up 25% capacity, retails are now essential?
I think that is to go retroactively into before. like that 7-week period, and probably for essential workers in
Because as the
blue
level
states.
goes up in what they allow to be essential, the degree of essential goes,
Yeah, but I think it's a retroactive thing. I think it has to do with up until your state starts to open up. Like the
Okay.
people that are going to work.
So okay. I was
So-
just wondering. So the people working now under 25% capacity,
Yeah.
wouldn't be deemed essential.
Like
workers.
how we kept going to work every day.
I mean, we were because of
were
our
essential.
industry, but
And anybody else that was working during the actual shutdown is an essential worker.
okay. So
those
retail would not be essential now that retail's open.
Yes, exactly. So $200 billion, which is already a provision in the current plan that we passed, the CARES Act. Okay, they want to do a second round of the $1,200 stimulus checks, but instead of having it be $500 per child, it's $1,200 for every person in your household, a maximum of $6,000 going to you. So could you imagine?
When are you moving back in?
Yeah, can you imagine certain areas of the country that are going to be getting $6,000 fucking payouts because they've got fucking 5 kids?
That's
just insane. So
it would crumble us. That would go bye-bye to any chance of even possibly seeing a surplus, or not surplus, but a gain in the second term of Trump.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like we have 17 trillion in debt. You add on the 1.2, we're at 19 trillion in debt. And now they want to make it 22 trillion in debt.
Yeah, but then
they want to wipe out everything that we brought back in.
Then you got the extra credit on your card. You use it.
Yeah,
come on.
Exactly. You get down to this next part here.
You raise children.
Yeah, the government will just bail you out. Don't worry. Just spend more than you can.
I don't know if I'm skipping over something, but if I am, I apologize. But $100 million to combat domestic violence.
That's
you know what would combat domestic violence?
Not
Ending
having to
the
work at
fucking
home.
Lockdown.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, because mom punched me 7 times last week.
Imagine any husband get mad on his wife because she either A, cooked a shitty meal or didn't have all you had to do is just smoke a doobie and everything would be fine. You wouldn't be fucking
exactly.
It would free up the fucking cells in prison and in the county and less taxpayer money going for that, and Jesus.
But no, thank you for getting ahead and getting to the list that we're on is on the piece of paper you have in front of you. Okay, Mr. Producer.
These stuffed mozzarella's are very good.
No, the screen that we have is to when we get to the pork. When
you gotta go online.
Yeah.
Even though there's a screen and a bunch of, you gotta still go online.
I know. Listen, I appreciate you looking at the numbers. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm just happy that you're not almost asleep in that chair, like last week.
Well, I was staring off at the TV. At least I was reading it.
So, $175 billion for housing assistance, which is to help people pay their rent back due. I'm kind of okay with that, but again, I'm pretty sure that was already in the other one.
Oh, hold on. So I don't want to slow everything down now. What was that again in the housing? I'm trying to follow.
That one's on your sheet.
175 billion.
Okay.
What I was saying is this is the additional items up here that we'll get to.
Well, here's my question though. Any private entity that holds your mortgage, financial institute, they're gonna just either defer you.
Yep.
And then they're gonna get money anyways.
Yes.
So, are they talking about the Section 8 to where the ones that are on mortgages that are government ran?
Yes. Well, no. They're talking about people like you own a house, right, and you rent it out. Those people aren't going to say, "Oh, don't worry about paying your rent."
Like a government loan for home. Like if you got a loan to build your home or
no, the Section 8 people
no,
aren't.
but not only that, there's FHAs. That's a government loan
to
get a home.
They're not collecting anything like that right now.
So where is that going to?
This 175 is for people that own multiple real estate properties, right? And that is their only source of income. Like say you're retired, you own 3 houses, but you rent those 3 houses out, and that's how you pay all your bills. But all the people that are under you that are renting the house from you are all out of work and they don't have any money to pay rent. You can apply for this to cover the rent that's being missed so that the people that own the homes, the 3 homes that they make their living by renting the property, aren't missing out on those payments, and then therefore it being a double turn.
Now, I know you didn't write this, so I mean, I know I'm not arguing with you, but at the same time, I'm just curious as though if those property owners held mortgages themselves on those, if not, and they were paid out, good for them. Then any relief that they could give to their tenants or anybody that is in those homes, that's on them, and that's a good character. But at one point, if they still own mortgages on the properties, bunches of properties that they have, I don't understand why they just don't get deferred like the normal Joe Schmo.
I'm sure that they are.
So then where the fuck is this funding going to? That's what I'm trying to say. Are they because if FHA, it's government held, government ran, owned. That means they could just defer it to whenever they want, and you don't have to pay a soul. Okay, if it's a private entity, they are deferring the payments anyways and putting them on the back end. So that's anybody any home loan through Rocket, whatever mortgage or whatever.
I understand.
So where
do you think the money's going?
That's my point.
It's going in a fucking rat hole.
That's my point. That is my point.
Okay.
And not to argue, but my point is to.
I get it, man. It's going in a rat hole.
Where the fuck?
Moving down the line, $75 billion for testing, tracing, and isolation. So what's that? To put the fucking microchips in us that Bill Gates has fucking put together? Again, that's money right there. That's like giving $75 billion to the fucking cabal.
Yeah.
All right.
According to Pelosi, that the only way that we could track this and trace this and figure out when it's going is to be able to monitor people, and the only way to do that is to chip them.
Okay. Exactly. I know. Listen,
this bill's unconstitutional, fiscally irresponsible, and Jesus Christ, you name it.
It's magnanimous. It's unconscionable.
It's preposterous.
It's preposterous. All right.
I don't see it. I don't want it. Get it out of here. Tear it up. It's DOA. They're not gonna
listen. And then, all right. So now up to the screen here. Let's get into all the fucking pork belly that this bitch has in there. Okay. This little piggy went to the market. $12,000 checks for certain undocumented immigrants.
12.
Okay. What did I say?
1,000.
12,000. It could be that much because they'll get it twice.
They could. They would.
Well, no, 12,000. I said, what did I say? I said 6,000 per household. They have 2 households in a house. That's 12,000. Do the math. We all know that they're gonna get the 6,000. Think about how many fucking kids they got with them all the time.
I mean, I'm all for it because I'm probably gonna get a little something. But Jesus Christ, that's gonna crumble us, man.
Listen, the Babylonian money squares. Those things don't mean shit if there's no weight to them. Yeah. Look at this. Restoring state the SALT. So restoring the state and local tax deductions that helps the individual high tax blue states, which means they want to take the tax deductions and then use it to bail the blue states out that have already fiscally not run their country or their whole thing well. Like we talked about it. What was it last week? We talked about how the top 10 poorly run states in a deficit, 9 out of the 10 are the fucking they're fucking run by blue state governors and have been for 50 fucking years. There's and I don't want to hear people say, "Oh, well, Massachusetts was Mitt Romney." He's a fucking blue state moron, rhino fuckface. All right? He doesn't count. So don't even fucking bring that shit up in the comments.
Original
why are the blue states high tax? That's the question.
They're high tax to pay for all the bullshit programs that they run.
That they're senators and
exactly because they're rat holing money. So everything turns around to their rat holing fucking money. Okay.
And then everybody's got to pay at every angle for it too.
Exactly. Allowing legal marijuana businesses to access banking services. I have no fucking problem with that. That should be a separate bill that they put together because, again, these people have to create their own banks to house their money. And in Colorado is a big thing where people were going in and robbing these weed establishments because they weren't allowed to put their money.
Can you imagine how much fucking money that they would have on spot at any given moment?
I'm telling you right now, if you legalized marijuana, they could go in and get the fucking money, and that money they could start loaning out like the Fed.
Well, that's the thing because the banks are federally ran.
Yeah.
Right? So, hey, there's no way.
What marijuana should do is they should create their own currency. and you can, and there's a kind of like the Forex exchange. There's a Forex exchange rate for the currency, and then you could apply it like kind of like how we have Bitcoin. It'd be a commodity.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised one of these crooked fucking politicians didn't try
Isn't
to
it?
slip in accepting Bitcoin as a some type of currency.
You like that idea? We should get that together, right?
I do like that idea. I never really thought about it that way, but if you did have your own currency for it, it'd be interesting.
It would at least be set to some sort of weight, unlike Bitcoin and a lot of these other fucking cryptos.
It would have to have a value, not just a digital value, though.
No, there is a value. It's based off of how much marijuana is there. It's set to the marijuana.
But how do you do that when there's a
No, don't do that. Don't make it oil.
It'd be like oil.
No.
No, I was gonna say, but how do you do that when there's a street flow too, an illegal flow of it?
You don't
too?
think there's a counterfeit flow of money? Counterfeit money?
Yeah, but
listen, just because it's not one of the big things
the
to
counterfeit
run.
money's not overpowering the legit money.
Yeah, I know.
Right. The reason why stocks are low is because the illegal weed is fucking accessible, cheaper, and easier getting around than it is for the legal weed.
Well, if you
That's
did
why
that,
my fucking stocks are sucking right now.
if you did that, you'd be able to cut out the illegal weed. I mean,
That's
you're
right.
never going to be able to
You're
stop
never going to, because nobody wants to go register through a lot of people don't want to register to go say, hey, I'm going to go through this fucking dispensary, but you got to put a name in a registry, and
I
then
think
your constitutional rights, you can't even get a gun. Right now, they made it to the point somebody eventually is going to say, hey, that's unconstitutional. You can't say you can't have a gun.
Yeah,
But
considering all the people with PTSD that are still allowed to own guns.
but at this point, they won't allow you to have a gun if you have a medicinal card.
Oh, I know.
Right, but if they made
Now, if you have your concealed carry before you get your medicinal card, they can't do anything.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know
Well,
that? So that's why
but you might not get your medicinal card. You know what I'm saying?
you might not.
if
Well, it
they
depends
run
on
the
depends
database-
on what you have to say that you're getting the medicinal weed for. The reason that they say that is because the easiest way to get your medicinal card is to say you have anxiety. And if you have anxiety, you cannot have by law, what they tell you, some of the provisions to getting a concealed carry in certain states is that you can't have known anxiety. You cannot take medicine for anxiety. You can't have anything like that. It doesn't even matter weed. You can't take whatever kind of fucking, bullshit medicine that the FDA puts you on. That's why they say you can't get. It's not so much that it's a provision that says if you have a medical marijuana card, you can't get a gun. It has to do with why do you have your medical marijuana card. And when 85% of the people that have it is because of anxiety or some sort of social interaction problem, those are the things that are classified under what you're allowed to do to have a concealed carry, and that's why they say you can't have both. Now, if you have a chronic pain problem,
Yeah, but I think that's all irrelevant, because the reason my understanding, the reason why weed is medicinally accepted, okay, not federally, because federally it's categorized with heroin and all that in the same category. So they need to deregulate it and actually take it down a level to be able to say, hey, this isn't in the same category federally as heroin and everything. So now you could legally drive with it if you were under a prescription. You could legally own a gun if you're under a prescription. But until the federal level changes the bracket that weed is in,
I got you.
I don't think any of that will ever change, because that's why it's it's unconstitutional, but it's against the law because of the level that weed is at. And we all know smoking a joint isn't the same as taking a fucking track to the fucking vein.
I got you, but to stop you, weed is allowed to be regulated by the states under the 10th Amendment, and the gun laws are regulated by states, not federally.
Well, there's
So
medicine that
it
has
goes off
opiates in there that are derived from, drugs that would be categorized
I got you.
as...
Well, that's why you can't be on those drugs and have a fucking concealed carry. It's not just... Listen, you can't be on Lexapro or any other kind of antidepressant medicine and get your concealed carry either.
Antidepressant?
You can't be on an antidepressant and get your concealed carry. If you are on an antidepressant medicine, you cannot get your concealed carry. They will run to see if you are prescribed it or were prescribed it, within a certain period of time of applying for it, that's why
So,
you have to have
back
your
in
info.
the 80s and 90s when they were pushing bipolar and Paxil on everybody.
That was to
you
get
don't
people
think a
to not
good
be able
chance
to
of
have
America
guns.
is sitting there with a prescription of Paxil or
But that's why
Neurontin or lithium?
I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm saying that you can't be
Well,
prescribed
if
to
you think
it.
about the number of gun owners that the NRA has documented has guns.
I know. But what I'm telling you is it goes state by state. Certain states say you can't be on these things. I'm telling you what the Florida regulation is because that's where I had my thing. And I went through they literally do a 4-hour class. The 1 hour of that class is telling you everything that you cannot have, be on, or anything like that. Listen,
But let me ask you
weed
this,
has
though.
the same
There's
effects
such
as
thing
alcohol.
There's such thing as HIPAA, and the government can't even control unless you have access to get to what is. So you could lie up and down.
You
all
could.
Day long.
It's a federal offense.
So, but it's offense to try to go against your actual.
I'm telling you right now, if you okay,
I believe there's more people that that's why we're trying to There's no thing now. That's why they're trying to say, hey, we need to stop the people that have mental issues with guns. Because right now, a lot of people that have registered gun owners have mental issues, down to veterans.
Oh, yeah.
Down to
the
cops
veterans.
that are.
There's a Veterans Act that allows them to own guns. That's why you have so many veterans with PTSD. There's a federal act that says that you cannot infringe on their Second Amendment rights. So that I'm just trying to get past these things because you're throwing things at me, and I want to answer it for you because I've taken the class.
I'm just throwing out what
The way to get around HIPAA is they don't
You
run.
don't get around HIPAA.
You don't get around it. But what I'm telling you is that the way that the government gets around it is, and they work on the honor system is it doesn't matter what you do. You understand if you were filling out your federal unemployment
I'm just
info
curious,
and
'cause
you lied.
I'm just curious because I got a gun and I was prescribed Paxil. So
Yeah,
I'm just
no.
curious.
You can own a gun. I'm saying you cannot conceal carry it.
Oh.
We're talking about concealed carry, not
okay.
owning a gun.
Okay, I was
We're
talking about ownership of
being able.
guns.
We're talking about being able to walk around at any point in time with a gun on you, legally. We're not talking about owning a gun. We're talking about concealed carry permit, which is the permission for you to go out, have it on you at all times, unless you're in certain. There's very few places.
It's like saying, hey, we don't care if you shoot yourself in the fucking house. Just don't fucking go.
Well, they don't want you to go crazy and
Don't
shoot
go
other
kill
people.
other people.
But what I was going to tell you is the way that they get around the whole HIPAA thing is they tell you point blank when you fill out the form because it's a federal form.
Yeah.
If you lie on this form about having any one of these issues, and let's say you get arrested and you have that prescription and it's in your system and you have the gun on you, okay? That is a 5-year felony charge in federal prison for falsifying a document. It's the same reason why when we get to Obamagate later, that everybody that filed for a fucking FISA warrant should be facing at least 5 years minimum in federal fucking prison for each time that they fucking did it.
That'll never happen.
So let's get. I know it won't happen, but
can we get back to talking about weed, man?
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was, if you made weed like
oil,
no alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was getting back to what Scott originally said. If you made weed like alcohol, do you think there would
still be the market that there is now?
Yes.
Well, how would you make weed like alcohol?
Like just saying making it legal.
Accessibility. Yeah, but in order to do that, you got to take it down
Like-
the category.
Like, yeah, but what, do you
Yeah,
think it
I'm
would
just
have the
saying.
same? Do you think more people would want to do it, or do you think there's a lot of people that just do it to be like, oh, I'm breaking the law?
I
I'm
think
breaking
if,
the
No, I
law.
didn't mean it that way. He said he
If
was
you gotta
worried
go,
about the.
If you got to go and sign up to register for a registry, a weed registry and all that, to be on a registry so
No,
you
but
can
I'm
buy
saying you don't have to do it.
weed. Opposed to,
He's
I know
saying
what
if
you're
you just
saying.
had to go
if
to
you
the
could
store
go to
and
the
buy it.
corner store, buy a 5-pack of fucking joints without no questions asked.
Like cigarettes.
Well, would they ask to see your medicinal card? I don't know. Or a card?
No more
worry
card.
about horseshit.
No more card.
What I'm saying is if it became like alcohol, where maybe it's not in every store, but there are stores and you walk in and you buy a pack of cigarettes, you buy whatever the hell you want, edibles. Do you think that
There would still be the market that you were talking about on the street.
Yeah. No, well, there's always going to be a market, but yeah.
Because there's not like a real
because you have minors. Yeah, there's definitely going to be.
That's true.
You have minors.
You got people that are probably going to be, you know, no licenses to be able to show for that. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't it just
Dukes
be
of
the
Hazzard.
cool uncle though? Wouldn't there just be the cool uncle that gets you some weed on?
I mean, it depends.
My brother got us alcohol. I'm sure we didn't go anywhere.
We used to go
we
up
were
to
at
the
a
local
house or.
We used to go up to the local liquor store and we would give the bum
Exactly.
$10 extra, and he would come out and
Anybody
there
that
you
was
go.
walking
We got
in, hey man, will you get me a 6 or a 12? You know,
Yeah.
that's just how kids lived back then.
Maybe
and we
they
didn't
could
do
possibly
anything.
do
We
some
walked
stuff like that.
around. We fucking walked
But then again, you're looking at society.
Like how you are now.
Oh, because I'm looking at him and talking.
But then again, you see how society has kind of pussified down to PC and.
Oh, I know
So at this
that.
point,
We're fucked.
I don't think you got
It's
those
never
days
gonna
anymore
happen.
where a kid could go to a store and be like, "Hey,
It's never gonna happen.
hey, can you please?" Because they look.
anybody
It's
do
so
that
much
out
more
with
frowned
alcohol
upon.
anymore?
Not many people in the '80s were worrying about fucking letting a kid have a drink of a beer.
Uh-huh.
You let a kid have a drink of a beer now, Jesus fucking Christ, you're going to jail. You're losing your fucking kid and possibly your house, your car because you can't fucking pay for it.
Right. Well, in Europe, kids
crazy.
drink wine for dinner.
So can we? Let's get back
in
to
the Bahamas. If you could reach over the bar, they'll serve you a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
I mean,
get
you know,
let's
I'm
get back
just
to
not promoting it, but
what our glorious speaker
You
of the
gotta
house.
look statistically of what goes on.
We got $20 million for Arts and Humanities Foundation, so they want to give that $20 million to the Kennedy Center again. That's probably another rat hole, you know.
well, they need the money, John.
They keep $10 million. $10 million goes back to the people that wrote the bill.
And that's so we don't. America doesn't lose its culture. Like it's.
No, it's so that these fucking.
Is that because we could say we have all these priceless?
It's so these fucking little artsy fucks that run around protesting every little bullshit social injustice have something to do.
Yeah.
$50 billion to colleges and universities. Fuck them. They got enough fucking money. They're stealing from everybody.
Shouldn't that say indoctrination centers?
Yeah, exactly.
Why should that? In what form? Like, is that going to be like? All right, you know what? Because nobody's going to school now.
Listen, if
what
you're
the hell?
Is it
Like,
they're not?
honestly.
What do we need? the teachers just want to pay to get paid to not have.
But they have that. I'm sure they have unions. They're all. My mom's getting paid.
Listen, man, they're on down. They're on. That's what it is, though. It's to circumvent the money that's going to go into the unions.
But isn't that a state thing?
It is. It's bullshit. Listen, again, everything you're getting upset about's right because this is stupid. None of this needs to be in here. $3.6 billion for mail-in voting. What is that, to print the fucking ballots for all the illegal immigrants?
No, it's to read it in Spanish.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfucking believable.
$25 billion for the fucking post office. Again, a private entity.
They're saying the mail-in voting's worth the sixth of the college and universities funding.
The
That's
25
crazy.
the $25 billion for the post office is the bribes to make sure that the Republican area votes don't get to the ballot box. Because they have the list of everybody who's registered Republican. They'll just make sure those votes don't get in.
That's to bail them out now because fucking Amazon has already fucked up a contract with them.
I'm sure. And then $100 million to combat domestic violence. We already got there. If you want to end domestic violence, let the men go back to work and leave the women at home in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant.
Domestic violence?
I'm just kidding. Kinda.
No, but I'm just like...
It's crazy, man.
To
Look, this is why she had to do this. Because the doctors that I showed the video on that I wasn't supposed to show the video on for YouTube, I can't believe they haven't pulled it off yet. They are fucking coming out saying, what about all the domestic violence going on? What about all the child molestation going on? What about all that? And what happened is that people started waking up. People started calling. I guarantee you, people started calling their fucking Congress people.
Does that go to
about these things
a hotline?
You can call the office of your congressman right now. If you have the number, it's accessible. We could all call Brian Mast, okay? Ask him if he wants to go for a run in the morning. And you'd be able to voice your opinion. The fucking crazy cunt that lives cat a corner up the next floor from me does nothing but call have her window open and fucking scream about the bills that went through and how everything, there's nothing for the Democrats in them. Because she's a crazy fucking liberal from Vermont and needs to go the fuck back home.
I don't know. A lot of those don't. I don't what. I don't know. If
A lot of
I
these
was looking
things
for a
aren't sitting
career
right with you?
change, I'd like to be able. What's the title of combating? What do I do to go to become a combative, domestic violence combative person? Like, I don't. Where's the money allocated to? That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously they're asking for the funds, but realistically, who's gonna see those funds?
Yeah, listen. All this bill it's for one thing. And I don't even give a shit. I think that they don't need to pass this at all. Extra money or whatever that, most people would be excited about. And that's what it is. It's basically just a bribe for the American people, just like they're bribing all these other universities and entities to be on their side about an argument with the money that they're giving them. And then they're going to also take a chunk back. This is about keeping people unemployed and keeping the economy down through November and through January of 2021 for two reasons, okay? One, to cripple Trump so that he loses. And if Joe Biden comes into office, they can say how, oh, well, Trump fucked everything up and that's why the economy is stagnant. Because that's what their plan would be. Their plan would be get back into power. We've already created a crisis. And now we're going to lie and say about how we're going to work slow as fuck, just like Obama coming back from the recession, the slowest recession recovery in the history of this country. And then everybody wants to tell you that it was his economy that just took off in a year's time.
What did you see the video of the different time levels of when Obama was? I don't want to ruin content or not, but when Obama was it showed him saying, like, when they were asking him when Trump was starting to run, oh, Trump's going to run president. He says he's going to fix the economy.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Okay.
I've seen the video. You talking about the magic wand?
I don't think I've seen that. No,
he says, what are you going to do, wave a magic wand and make all these jobs come back?
Well, yeah, then they showed later when he was actually, he's like, oh, I fix you. He said, you can't fix this. And then the second time around, he's like, they asked him, and he's like, oh, it's because of me.
Yeah.
And now the third time around is saying that he's never going to come back from his achievements. Now it's like, oh, so it was his achievements. It wasn't your economy.
Yeah.
But originally he was going to say nobody could make this economy better. Nobody could bring back those many jobs. He did. The second interview, oh, well, that's because of what I implemented in the house before I left is why we're seeing the effects of that. And then the third one is, oh, well, he'll never gain back what he accomplished before. So it's pretty much the whole timeline of him bullshitting the whole time. And he is not credible. Yeah, he's not credible at all.
Hey, we got a whole segment on fucking Barry Santoro, okay? But let's look at, we got... Thank God for the Republicans in the House, because what Nancy Pelosi was trying to do is to hold this without having... She wanted to vote on the bill without having any deliberations. So let's go to Jimmy Jordan, and surprise, surprise, he's actually got a jacket on right now.
In 1 week, the Democrats have shown us exactly what they want to do. In 1 week's time, May 8th, 1 week ago, 7 Democrats on the Coronavirus Select Committee send a letter to Universal Stainless and Alloy Products in Western Pennsylvania, and they say, give back your PPP money. Right, here's the letter. You have not returned these funds. 3 days later, May 11th, 4 of our colleagues, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, send a letter to those 7 Democrats and say, hey, wait a minute. Universal Stainless followed the rules. They're entitled to their money. If they have to give it back, they will have to lay off steel workers. And today, this bill does what? This bill does what? It gives tax dollars to illegal immigrants. In 1 week's time, take money from steel workers, give it to illegal immigrants. That's the Democrat vision for their country. And if for no other reason, that's why we should vote against this bill. I yield back.
That is literally, it's the complete, that is a 50-second microcosm of what the Democrat Party has been about for the last 5 years, and really so much so since Trump's been elected. We need the illegal immigrants. That's the only way that we're gonna be able to win. We need to be able to harvest ballots. And how are we gonna do it? Again, it's nothing but a bribe, people. I took the $1,200 bribe from the Republican Party, okay? Hey, put a stack in your bank account, holler at your boy in November. All right? The greatest Trump tweet of all time. But not just Jim Jordan. Let's go to Congressman Snake Plissken and get his views.
Today's theatrics are shocking. 35 million jobs lost, businesses and livelihoods ruined. And while American grocers, nurses, and workers kept America going, Democrats kept Congress in hiding for the past 3 weeks. Hiding is fear. It is not leadership. And when we finally reconvene, we get this. Politico summed it up best. Neither this bill nor anything resembling it will ever become law. It's a Democrat wish list filled up with all the party's favorite policies. Is this a joke? Because it certainly isn't based on reality. Reality would be working here for the last 3 weeks, examining each problem our nation faces and working together to find the best solutions. That shouldn't be all that difficult, since I would presume we still have the same goals: mitigate the virus and save our economy and society, right? That is still our goal, isn't it? If it is, then stop playing games. $3 trillion of virtue signaling to your base is no way to govern in the midst of a crisis, and you know it.
Got to be the realest shit I've heard all week.
Yeah.
That's all this is. A virtue signal to their base, which again, the illegal immigrants, the social justice warriors, you know, that's all that money's for. And then yeah, we'll break everybody off a little bit of what's coming your way. It's a bunch of bullshit. And then, you know, because the Republicans want to actually stand up and say, no, we don't need to spend $3 trillion. Let's get fucking. This is how bad this is, okay? Joy Behar can't even fucking handle Chris Christie, the guy who can't even handle supervising a bridge being open. All right, she can't even handle this. Let's go to this fucking
that occurred before we had shut in. And as far as the stimulus, the fourth stimulus bill, I absolutely believe there will be a bill. This has been every one of these bills. We are still distributing hundreds of billions of dollars from the last bill that has not even been put out there yet. And so both sides are going to negotiate on this. This is the typical legislative process. The Democrats will want the things they want. The Republicans will want the things they want. And they will ultimately, I believe, come to a compromise, as they have on the 3 bills before this.
They always seem to have money to give tax breaks to rich people in this country, or money to bolster the military. But when it comes to actually helping people, the Republicans don't. All of a sudden, we don't have any money. We don't have any money. But that's just me. Let me ask you this question, because President said we have met the moment and we have prevailed. Well, it was like mission accomplishments. So do you agree with that?
First, let me talk about your first point, which is that Republicans voted overwhelmingly for all of the aid for small business people across this country twice. Republicans voted overwhelmingly for the $1,200 checks that have gone to every one of the taxpayers out there who qualified under the program, the folks who in our lower middle class who needed that aid. Republicans have voted for aid to hospitals and frontline healthcare workers. So it's unfair, Joy, to say that Republicans don't support any of this stuff and they only have money for big business. That's a typical Democratic talking point. But the facts, unfortunately.
Well, then why is everybody crying that they have no money and they have no job and they have no money? Why is everybody upset, running out into the streets and defying the rule? Why? Tell me.
Because people want their lives back. Even the people who've received that money, the people who've received that aid.
No,
the job
they want their jobs back. They want their jobs back, not their lives. They're saying they want their jobs back. They want food. They want to pay their rent. They want to pay their mortgages. They don't have enough money for that. That's what they're crying about. And I don't see the Republican Party helping them. All they're doing is blaming everybody else.
That's just wrong. I mean, it's just absolutely wrong. Your point of view, you're welcome to it, but you're not welcome to your own set of facts. The Republicans have voted to support all of those programs you just talked about: food programs, aid programs to people with direct checks to them, aid programs to small business, aid programs to frontline health workers and to hospitals. All of those things have gotten overwhelming, in fact, unanimous Republican support, as they've gotten unanimous Democratic support. And what people want are their lives back, and their lives, part of their lives, are their jobs and the things that they do every day. Part of what's making people go crazy here is just not the fear. of the virus, but it is also that people have been locked in their homes now for over 2 months, and they want to have, for those who are not in the vulnerable population, elderly or underlying health problems like asthma or diabetes or other respiratory problems. Those people are at much lower risk, and when they take precautions like wearing masks, like temperature checks, like multiple hand washing, like cleaning of surfaces, all of those things can be done and can help to make it safer for those who want to go back to work to be able to go back to work.
Chris, we're gonna go and come right back. We just have to take a break.
We're gonna go and
We'll
come
be
right back.
You just made my girl look like shit. You know,
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
I can't stand watching these. Why do they? And I get it.
These clucks.
Because any politician that goes on that show is gonna make it look like they know everything because these bitches are so stupid. But why do any politician give them the time of day to go on their show? Their rebuttals are bullshit. They don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Have you seen the Donald Trump Jr. video?
Yes, I saw that when he went.
It's the greatest
thing. And they thought that they thought they were smart. The questions they were asking him, and like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, they don't. Oh my God! Like in there, see that is. I wouldn't even fucking entertain that. If I was Fox or any kind of news, I wouldn't even. I know, obviously, was it NBC and ABC? ABC. So any reputable news company, I wouldn't even fucking show that because that's just.
I just like showing it.
Who are they?
Listen,
it's a bunch of bitches bickering in a fucking circle.
It's a
about
bunch of
shit they don't have clue.
But
They're all
do you want to know who
fucking millionaires.
Do you want to know who watches that shit?
What?
Any kind of liberal fucking woman that is like the age of 50, like late 50s, up through their 80s. They're all watching that shit, thinking Joey Behard's the smartest person, and
that
then
is sad.
That
makes me want to stab myself
when your
in the
fucking grandmother reminds you of her and her fucking arguments, how do you think I like going to fucking dinner every Sunday? Because that's what it's like. All right, and speaking Joy's stupid ass. Oh, they always have money to give tax breaks, bitch. It's not like they give the money to people for tax breaks. They just collect less, you stupid fucking twat. It's not like they're in there negotiating their fucking contract and figuring out how they're going to get more money. First of all, if you don't believe me, let's go back to my favorite fucking congressman from Texas, and he's going to try to find the $3 billion that they want to spend.
So with us voting on a $3 trillion plus bill today, you would think that we just have that money lying around. But do we? All right, let's ask Kevin McCarthy if he knows where it's at. Kevin, you know where I can find $3 trillion?
Check the crypt. Might be there.
The crypt. Okay, shh. We're about to go into the crypt. Okay, the crypt is a lot less scary than it sounds. And there's no $3 trillion. Excuse me, do you know where I can find $3 trillion?
I don't know. Check the basement.
The basement. Check this one out. No door handle, kind of suspicious. And number 3, nobody would suspect this door. Can't open it, and it's oddly 2 feet off the ground. I don't know what's up with that. I wonder if she knows where it is. Nah, she doesn't know where it is. Actually, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Let's just check the ATM. Oh, yeah. Of course. Okay, but seriously, we don't have $3 trillion. We're printing that money or borrowing it from our kids. This isn't sustainable. And even if it was, this bill isn't designed to help the American people. It's designed to keep you locked at home, losing your job, your business is going under, while they spend money on a progressive wish list, such as bailing out blue state governors that didn't manage their state finances well, or completely changing our federal election system, eliminating requirements for voter ID. That's the kind of stuff in this bill. It's no way to govern. We have to look at one solution at a time for each problem. That's what the American people expect.
Where's the fucking disconnect? Where's the fucking disconnect? No, I'm just wondering because when I watch, okay, they just showed the bill. They showed where everything's allocated to, everything like that. And then you got this bitch, whatever her name is, Bear, spewing some bullshit. Oh, what about this and tax breaks and this and that. But where's the fucking disconnect? I'll tell you, it's about perception.
It's in the media.
No, but to the person. Fuck the media.
Who do you think gives them the information?
I was saying the same shit this morning to Mom.
Hey, you could sit there and put a bill on the fucking thing, which I've seen on CNN, and you could listen to somebody say something completely contradictory to that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
where the fuck is the disconnect from the person looking at the screen, seeing the bill? That's my question. Fuck the media, where it's called perception.
She didn't read the bill. That's where the disconnect is.
But I'm saying, like, as a normal citizen, who's arguing this? Who's really arguing this?
Joey Bear.
No, but obviously she's doing it to cater to a base.
But Scott, nobody has time to read an 1,800-page bill. I get it,
and nobody should. That's why they do that.
I read 400 pages of it. I'm not even fucking kidding you, because it's not like it's like a book. It's like it's outlined different. It's probably the equivalent. Reading 400 pages of that bill is like the equivalent of reading maybe 50 pages, because of the way everything's like spaced out. And I got through it, and I was just like, look, I need the fucking Cliff Notes. And it's like this. The media is only going to cover the good parts that everybody wants to hear. They're not going to tell you about all that bullshit that's in the bill.
But at the same time, when I see, I mean, there's no secret. There's no secret. Nancy Pelosi's even saying that we need to give the people here money. The Republicans don't want to do it. She's actually using that as an argument to why you shouldn't vote red.
Oh, yeah.
Because so they're even saying what they're saying they're not saying, if that makes fucking sense at all.
Yeah, you're talking about Democrats. It makes perfect sense.
But I just don't get it. Like, who are they? I don't get who they're catering to.
Listen, this is why you can't have arguments with fucking liberals. They get 25% of the real news from CNN, okay? The other 75% is bullshit. That is why these people are they can't argue a point. And then when you try to argue with them, they try to spin you the shit that they saw on CNN. And then I go, listen, bitch, I watch Fox. I get all the dumb shit they see on CNN during the fucking opinion shows, because that's all it is. They show, it's just like this show. We show you everything dumb. I have to sift through and torture myself to watch clips of people from fucking CNN to make fun of them, because that's how ridiculous they are. But the point is that you have so many people that are fooled by the fucking media. It's why Trump's greatest thing that he will ever do in this whole entire time is call out the media for their bullshit, and that maybe, just maybe, more and more people will wake up to the fact that these people are full of shit, we shouldn't listen to them anymore, and then they'll fucking go bankrupt because they'll be useless.
If they're not woke, I guess the word would be if they're not woke yet to what the hell they're doing, these people are fucking they're in denial. They have, the people that are woke and gone and up and left the party have already done that before this shit started happening. That's what I'm saying. Like,
do you need more proof?
Is there a fucking base? I'm just curious. Is there really somebody out there saying? I know there's people saying Trump shouldn't be president, but is there really people out there saying?
I don't know. Let's look.
Let's believe with Pelosi.
Let's go to who these fucking people have decided they want to run for them. Okay. Let's see what he's doing about the coronavirus and all this shit. Let's go to that. All right.
Dickhead.
I'm not, and I have a like all of you, but every day I have between an hour and a half brief with the former head of our former Surgeon General. Anyway, with docs across the country, and I'm not, and I have a like all of you, but every day I have between an hour and a half brief with the former head of our former Surgeon General. Anyway, with docs across the country.
When I like the guy, and I feel bad.
That's what I'm saying, because that's sad.
There is, but you understand that, yes, there is a base of fucking people that will actually vote for that fucking idiot.
They're not voting for him. They're going to vote for
They're
who he
voting
picks.
for the left.
Yeah, they're gonna vote for his vice president.
Exactly.
They're gonna vote for who the woman is gonna be that's gonna take over for this piece of shit.
There's a woman's
there's
gotta
a
get
theory.
in through the back door.
There's a theory saying that the only reason why they have him there right now, running and trying and representing them, is because they know that they're not going to win, and this is just a void. Of
like
time.
when
This
like
is just to fill in time.
You want to know what he is? He's John fucking McCain running against Obama.
Yeah. So at this point, they probably already. This is what. Okay. So the theory was that yes, they put him in there for that specific reason, but at the same time, the theory is saying that because the economy was so great, and that's what he was running off of, and even grabbing people from the left. Yeah. That was what was bringing people from the left to the right, was the economy, the jobs, the unemployment rate. All that was bringing people from the left.
Now they've destroyed it.
So now they destroyed it. Now they recognize that we're not going to win because his base is so strong. So let's crumble it so bad and make him look out to be the worst guy possible.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have to worry about a Republican coming in, 8 years or 6 years or 5 years down the road.
Well, here's the problem with that.
4.5.
That never works because Republicans nonstop blocked Obama from getting Obamacare done. And their big thing was, oh, he never got it done. 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 He didn't do this. He didn't do that. And what was the battle cry for everybody on the left? Oh, well, you only gave him 4 years. If he gets 8, he'll probably get everything done. That worked. Same thing. George W. Bush. We're at war in 2004, okay? John Kerry's going to run against them. They use, well, let him get out of his own mess. They have done that over and over and over again. Let these people get out of their mess. The last 2 presidents got a second term for being in a mess. There's no reason that you can fault him. And those 2 people, that's on their own admission. This is some freak, in quotation marks, freak of nature thing that happened.
And anybody voting left, okay, so we separated the people that would actually vote for him. Now let's separate the ones out of those that actually see that he's deteriorating. Why are they voting for him?
They're going to vote for whoever the VP is. That's how they're going to vote because they know that there's a good chance he's going to die while he's in office. Okay? And
he's gonna step down.
Or he'll step down. They'll run a cognitive test on him and they'll say, "Hey,
isn't that before he becomes?"
Yeah, but then the vice president would automatically be in the
won't
bid.
even get that far.
So listen. Do you want to know what's taking so long to vet? What's taking so long to vet the vice president and announce who it's going to be? There's one reason. They got to make sure that person is bought and paid for, bought off, is going to go along with the cabal, make sure that Obama stays out of jail, Hillary stays out of jail, Biden stays out of jail.
Well, they already got it.
Okay.
It's not that.
I'm wondering
they
if
don't name it that early.
I'm wondering if Trump low-key has his fucking security fucking team fucking heightened.
Oh, listen.
Because he's a dead man, bro.
Look,
if he gets next term, they're all going to fucking jail.
Oh, they are.
They're all going to
Why do you think it's happening now? If he can put them all away now?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that Barr purposely waited this long to start bringing out
if
these.
you all got to stay inside and we know where you're all at.
Yeah.
And you're all practicing this shit. It's going to be easy to come get you.
Yeah.
Okay? But let's go back to Joe. Coronavirus Joe. Hey, Joe.
Bad, dude. I feel like I'm watching a
Joe.
fucking
Joe, can you tell me how many people lost their jobs and how many people have died so far?
This is not a moment for excuses or deflections or blame game. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs as of today. Lives of millions of people, millions of jobs. And we're in a position where, we just got new unemployment insurance this morning, numbers, 36.5 million claims since this crisis began. This is not.
Good job, Joe. Keep up the good work, you fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. Are you serious? They really didn't want Bernie that bad? They didn't want Bernie that bad.
No, he's got a complete different
Jesus.
agenda.
These people are fucking nuts.
Bernie, I believe, if he would have became president, he would have created a movement. I think Bernie himself would have created a movement.
They would have. But listen, you got this
Could have
moron.
possibly been on a path to socialism, honestly.
People are watching this moron's updates and going, "Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense." You know what I mean? He's
That's
putting out.
That's what I was thinking.
This makes a lot of sense. You got that going on. Then you got this stupid fucking twat, this California raisin fucking wannabe. This bitch telling people to stay inside.
No, telling her people to stay inside. The white people she wants to work.
This is Auntie
Get sick.
Maxine, and she gives herself permission to say what's in her heart. And I want black people, my people, to keep your ass at home and don't be out on the street and don't be socializing because in the final analysis, you've got to take care of yourself because a lot of people out there don't care about you.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
The woman, that lady, please, for the love of God, listen, there's a Republican running against her. The people of California, just do the goddamn right thing.
When is that,
Get
this
that
year?
bitch out of office. Yeah, that's this.
What month?
Do you understand that lady is in charge of the finance committee?
Yeah, no, I know.
Since when are they good at managing money? Have you seen any of the NFL players?
Oh,
God. The fuck? Get the fuck out of
Stay
here.
off of that one, but if
There's 15 million documentaries that say broke. It's all about the same players.
God. But my point is, like, how is she allowed to say my people? How is, like...
The same way I'm allowed to say that they all don't know how to manage money well.
But my point is, it's a hypocrite.
The lady's a fucking asshole, okay? And then, you know what? Let's just
imagine Trump.
Imagine
Trump.
You guys want...
And be like, hey, all my people, all my white people, I'm talking to you. This is Trump speaking to Trump because Trump believes what Trump says, so I could actually fucking say it. In Trump's world... All the white people, you stay home. Black people, Chinese people, Hispanic.
He's not saying stay home. All you white people go to work.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
They're going to stay home anyway.
All right?
That's just fucking racist.
Let's end off this segment with one more from Creepy Uncle Joe.
Please.
And then, guys, I'm going to show you we're going to go to a 2-clip commercial break.
Good.
About how America's feeling, and then we'll be back with some Obama.
Let's have a little more Joe and another.
It's coming because there'll be more coming. You know, the truth is Trump was praising the Chinese government, downplaying the threat to the American people. As I said, as I was warning the need to get the people into China to see what was actually going on. And the Chinese government's word, we squandered critical time. And so I just don't. And now he's trying to play this China card. I mean, I don't know what. This is an unusual president.
I want to go to the complexity of what you'll be facing on day one with all those cabinet members there. Obviously, the Secretary of State is coming.
O'Donnell. I mean, he understands him.
That's crazy. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. Check out these 2 clips, and then we'll be back with Obamagate.
We will arrest you and we will take you to jail. Period.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool.
Yay.
And fuck you, I'm out.
Were you a Trump supporter from day one?
Not at all. I believe everything the media told me. I believed, I drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak. And it got to the point where, the type of person I am, I like to know why I don't like someone. I was told that he's a racist, but let me get some evidence, right? So I can be able to debate Trump supporters when it comes down to this, and I can be able to beat them down with facts. Started doing my research, and I was like, okay, well, I agree with that he said. I like that what he said. I like that policy. I like this guy. I think I'm going to go ahead and rock with this guy. So that's what I started doing, and I haven't stopped.
On the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know.